Hey everybody, this is John and welcome to the free video. So for Thursday's trading as we go into Friday, there's a couple of interesting setups on the long side. Largely biotech has been ignoring the recent weakness in Vertex Pharmaceuticals. Very nice pattern here after this nice kind of a gap up and easing back here. You got this nice kind of rounded action. You got the starts of a squeeze, and I like the prospects of this working its way higher. For biotech in general, IBB, you can see it's hooked up here. We don't necessarily have a squeeze or anything like that setting up, but if we look at BIIB, you do have one setting up. So that's one I want to keep an eye on. And then last but not least, REGN also had a nice little breakout today. Of all those, I like VRTX the best. This move on REGN is on very light volume. And as we've seen, these biotech stocks can be a little fickle. For earnings trades, we had ULTA after hours. You can see right now it's down $9. We'll take a look at that here in a second on an expected move of $20. So in relation to its expected move, not too bad. And then AVGO, which had an expected move of $12. Currently from its close is down about 8. All right, so let's take a look at these. So for AVGO, we did buy it after hours. So the rule of thumb here is that on the initial spike down, you can buy near the expected move with the idea that would act as support. Obviously, you're doing small size. You don't want to risk too much on that. But so far, so good on that. And then we also did the same thing with ULTA. Same thing here. Not really looking for too much more after this, but kind of a no harm, no foul with this small size, holding it. The fun thing is that if by you get to the morning and you've actually come all the way back, because remember, the market makers price this in such a way that the best thing that can happen to them is nothing. Like they like it if it opens up flat. And so if they can push it up to flat so they can suck the life out of all those at the money spreads, then this would benefit our long stock position that we bought down here. Last but not least, we do have a massive squeeze setting up on the Nasdaq chart. This could go either way. If you look at some of the components of the Nasdaq, some of them are rolling over, i.e. Amazon and Google. If you look at the transports are getting crushed. Okay, so if you look at it just from that angle, then the bet would be, right, let's just bet it all that this market is going to roll over. However, if you look at the 10-day moving average of the put-call ratio, it's extremely bullish. Okay, so you have a very mixed market here, and this is something that we would look at even potentially doing a long straddle on. Okay, but there's some other ways to navigate this market. So another way to play these markets or to trade these markets is just to consider the ebbs and flows that we're on. Okay, so when you're in a nice uptrend, all the moving averages are stacked, and the weekly and daily charts are in alignment. The waves you're trying to catch are longer period waves. 3 days on the short side to like 3 weeks, and of course this is from a swing trading perspective. And what's happened right now is that while the bullish argument is still intact on the weekly charts, it's not on the daily. Okay, and what that happens is that creates rougher seas. Okay, and to do that, instead of 3 days to 3 weeks, you want to tighten your kind of trade time down 3 hours, okay, to 3 days. Now, if you're working full time, obviously you want to look at trades that can last a couple of days. And if you are trading full time, you can look at trades that last a couple of hours. Okay, so if you're looking at trades that last a couple of hours, so this is one we did in NVIDIA that lasted approximately, in terms of trading hours, about 7 to 8 trading hours. We held it overnight. And what we did on this is that what we're looking for is a momentum shift plus conviction. Okay, and what happened with this is when we picked it up, we got a momentum shift plus conviction that got us into the trade, and then we're staying in the trade until one, we get to our target of 169, or there is a loss of momentum. Okay, and so we just kind of rode this wave. We almost got to the target, ended up getting out once we switched momentum, and like bought options for 11.50 and sold them for 12.90. Okay, so it wasn't a fantastic trade by any stretch, but in this market, that's the kind of stuff that we want to look at if we're looking at trying to catch these smaller ebbs and flows and not scalping. Again, this is a trade we held overnight. I don't want to. I want to, something a little bit more meat on the bone. But this way we're able to stay in the trade until it ends. Now, W-Day is a trade I'm in, and you can see what I'm looking for here is we're in now. We've got a squeeze down here, and what I'm looking for is that this will actually push into momentum plus conviction. And if this happens, you can see what happens here. I mean, it can turn into a hugely powerful run. And that's what we're waiting for right here. So you can still use this and try to anticipate that this is what's going to happen, right? And then if it doesn't, that's fine. As long as it's staying in yellow, that's kind of neutral. If it gets to red, we just get out. But we're looking to see if this can transition into yellow, which is neutral, into conviction plus momentum, which can turn into a home run trade. This also does work for larger term trends. Okay, if you look at Chipotle's, this is kind of what I envision. At some point in September or October, I am looking for a bigger, not a crash, I don't like to use the term crash, but a bigger correction. And this is what we'd be looking for on the Nasdaq, where we've gone from positive to neutral. And neutral, it's easy to kind of get excited about something that goes into neutral and it's over. But once you start getting conviction and momentum to the downside, this is why we say that the markets take the stairs up and the elevator down, and that's what we're looking for, and that is the kind of stuff that we want to be aware of going into September and October. Now, this is a class I'm going to be teaching on Saturday. So here's how it works, and this does include the indicator I was just showing you, and I'll explain how that works as well. But we're going to be looking for ways in this market environment that's changing. Okay, we did have a nice, quiet bull market, but now we're changing into what I would call a more normal market, where you've got forces tugging at both sides. Okay, so we want to know how to know when stocks are likely to explode or implode. Okay, the whole idea of 10x trades is that we're able to catch them. It doesn't matter which way they're going. Okay, and especially with options. I mean, you can catch some really big moves using options. We're going to be talking about a fairly extensive couple of checklists where we look for, first of all, anticipating what I would just call rare situations. We are in a situation where we've got a year that ends in 7 going into September or October, and every time that's happened over the last 70 years, we've had these huge trading opportunities to the downside. When that happens, first, we don't want to be run over by it. Second, we want to capture it because that can make your entire year. So we want to learn how to recognize these potential setups. And this includes what I would call a black swan event in real time. Okay, those two are kind of lined up there. We're going to be talking about some of the bigger trades that we've made together in the past, and this tool that we put together is designed to help us recognize what's happening and, more importantly, being able to hold on for the ride. Probably the biggest thing I see people doing in terms of trade management is getting out too soon. Okay, and then what's even worse is having conviction that something's going to happen and then it doesn't happen. And this tool, it translates our conviction from us to the market. Okay, we don't want to have conviction that the market is going to do something. We want the market to tell us it's going to do something, and so it makes it very, very objective. Okay, when to say no, there's very simple rules. When to not even get into a trade, or when to just do neutral things like iron condors, and this is actually really important. How to tell a base hit from a home run in advance. The trade we did on the video, that was a base hit. We knew it from the beginning. We weren't trying to get a home run. Why? That's the stuff that we want to look at. Okay, so what is going on here? So on Saturday, I'm going to be teaching the class. This is I think it's a very reasonable investment, and for this you're going to get all the details of the class and all the setups that we just discussed and how to do it. You'll of course get a recording of the class if you can't be there on Saturday, and of course a recording to go back and review. You'll also get a copy of the 10x bar indicator. Now, good news, obviously, if you have Thinkorswim or if you have TradeStation, this is something that will be ready to go to those platforms. But if you've got Fidelity or Schwab and you want to keep that, guess what? We're going to have this ready for TradingView as well, which is a free charting service. For those of you that are newer, we're including an options foundation course and a back to basics course in case you're kind of intimidated by options, and I'll get you up to speed. You can upgrade to $9.97, and that includes everything in the Saturday class, plus 3 days of live trading, a follow-up day for questions, plus we're also adding a new scan that will also help you find these opportunities, and you can have access to 3 months of the 10x scan. Okay, and then for this upgrade, you get all that stuff plus a year membership to our entire scan, including the 10x scan. So this is going to be an awesome class. It'll be a lot of fun. If you go to simplertrading.com/formula, you can choose the package that's right for you. And I look forward to working with you on Saturday.